Hello, Internet. This is SAR Martinian here with another episode of K.A.S.A, Kerbal Aeronautics and Space Administration. And today we're going again to Minimus. Okay, so I built this rocket. I've actually built several versions of this rocket, and each one of them is just slightly more ridiculous than the last. Finally got it done, though. This one should work. This one should make it. We're going to go to Minimus again, pardon me for the slip of the tongue there, and we're going to do a little bit more science, a little bit more than last time. Last time we just kind of did, let's just stop here really quick, get a core sample, blah, blah. This time we've got our Science Bay Junior, we've got our goo pods, so we can collect all of the science. We've even got a transmitter, so we can transmit a lot of science back as we're going. This will actually allow us to get a little bit more science, because we can have Jebediah here stay on the surface for a few days doing just sciencey things. He'd probably enjoy that, wouldn't you, Jeb? Yeah, that's a happy face. Alright, so and then another thing. I realized that in a previous episode I stated that when I was giving the variable mass and mass and density of Kerbin, that I was an error. I gave you some bad numbers, and for that I apologize greatly. The radius of Kerbin is where I was mistaken. It's not 1/2 that, the radius of Earth. It is in fact 1/10 the radius of Earth. Much, much smaller. Which means that the that always sounds so horrifying. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's not that high. So I might want to tilt this back up a bit. Get a little bit of extra height out of this. Who knows? Anyway, it's actually 1/10. I don't know where my previous thing was, but the point is it's a 10th the mass of Earth, or the radius of Earth, which means it's 100th the mass of Earth, but 10 times as dense as Earth. Now what that means is that it's made of some kind of super dense material. Crazy, just ridiculously dense. In fact, I did some kind of just basic calculations figuring that, let's say we could approximate the Earth as being made entirely out of iron, because there's a lot of iron in the Earth, and it averages out to be not a terrible assumption. It's not a great assumption by any means, but it's not a terrible assumption. The only problem is that by making that approximation, we have to accept that whatever is the average mass of Kerbin is something that we don't even have on the periodic table. Californium is the highest thing, at least on my periodic table, the one that I have on the wall. And it's at 92, I want to say. 92 as it's like 200 something. But proton. No, it's going to be a lot more than that. Regardless, the overall mass is 292 as opposed to iron, which is about 55. So it's only like half of what it would need to be in order to be the theoretical device that I'm thinking of here, my theoretical material that would make up the core of planet Kerbin. Either that or the core of this planet is just, there might be like a thin layer of carbon and normal stuff like we're used to, and then everything past that is just tungsten, thorium, all kinds of crazy stuff. Might be. I'm not sure. I'm not a geologist. That job is not in my purview. But here we go as we attempt to get this into a nice... I'd like to get a very nice thing here. 2, 1, come on, make it. Almost there, and flip. That puts me at 92.75. Close enough for me. We are in a low Kerbin orbit. So what we can do from this low Kerbin orbit is we can do a little bit of science while we're up here. No reason not to. Let's do a quick little run of all of my scientific shenanigans. Jeb may even want to pop out into EVA really quick, take a little EVA report, and then, of course, get back inside very, very quickly. It's cold out here in space, don't you know? We can go into the pod, take a crew report, and then we can, well, the crew report's not very, goodness. We can just start kind of transmitting this stuff and see what happens. I don't have to worry about transmitting now because now that we have these solar panels, the batteries will actually recharge. And as you can see, I'm kind of cheating the system a little bit by having these on there, these extra pods with no one in them. The extra pods, I put them on there to provide me additional stability with the SAS systems that are on board. But they also offer the great advantage of having 50 units of charge, bringing my maximum up to 250 as opposed to 200 or as opposed to 50. But regardless, we are trying to hit Minimus. By the way, if you can hear crazy laughter or what have you, it's my roommates. Don't worry about them. They're actually very nice people, and they won't kill you. Probably won't kill you, I should say. I don't know them. I don't know them that well anyway. Oh, that's way too far. All right, let's bring it in. Bring it on. Oh, there it was. I saw it. So we're right on it. Somewhere in here. Get a nice big. Oh, it's tricky. Let's see what it looks like over at the... Oh, look at that. We're a little bit high. What if I pull... Ah, darn thing. Maneuver nodes. What you gonna do about the maneuver nodes? Just try and pull it in a little bit closer. Back. Yeah, okay, better. It's a lot better. Down lower. Oh, it doesn't want to go. Oh, let's just scrap this one. Okay. Something that might help is if I set Minimus as a target, as I sit here and realize this. From here. Expand out. Not the mun. Not too concerned about the mun. Very concerned, however. Oh, okay, there we are. So now we just have to figure out where our intersection is going to be. Oh, this is just not good. It's not good at all. Well, I can bring it up, though. This won't be a very happy intersection, but it will be an intersection. Yes, it will. Alright, well, we can work with that. We can certainly work with that. In only 4 minutes, no less. Goodness. All kinds of insanity. Alright, well, let's orient ourselves for the burn. You may have also noticed that at the beginning of this video, how many booster rockets I had attached to my structure, and that's because I wanted to have all of this extra fuel. It's, wow, almost 500 extra fuel on these rockets when I got into orbit, so that I would be able to do a burn like this. With all this extra fuel, I mean, normally 925, I've made this trip before. I can do it with the one tank on the pod. It's technically possible. But I've added a lot of weight to that pod. And I wanted some extra margins so that I could land. I didn't have to worry about landing as much. I wouldn't be in such of a panicked, risky state like I was last time. And honestly, it allows me to also trim my return really nicely. I should have very wide margins with this design, which will allow me to just do tons of research. I'm not going to do too much because I don't want this video to be very long, and honestly, if we're trying to model a real space system, it's not like we're going to, you know, they wouldn't stay there for months doing endless research just transmitting it. They would take a few samples, they would do a few readings, maybe 2 or 3 sets, and then they would call it good and go home because they miss their families. Accelerate here so I can actually hit the flying point. You know, 4 minutes is a lot longer to talk than you might think. You never think you're gonna run out of things to say, but then all of a sudden, I was gonna talk about. I'm starting to need to talk about things I didn't really want to talk about until I was heading towards Minimus. Man, why haven't I burned in a while? Oh, right, because I'm sitting here being an idiot. Alright, so we're just going to start burning now. Burn, 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 burn. Okay. Wow. I had a lot of fuel. A lot more than I thought I did, tell you that much. Wow. Wow. Alright. That is amazing. I've got myself almost in the actual orbit itself. 12 meters per second delta V left on my burn. That's some beautiful margins right there. Well, but unfortunately I started burning too quickly because I was expecting it to not actually last that long. Ugh, okay, well, this is what we can do. We can try and rotate my orbit. Rotate it into an actual intersection. Get it to where it needs to be. There we go. That's what we're looking for. T-minus 9. Okay, I've got to get 50 meters per second delta V. We're almost straight down towards Kerbin. Oh, I got it! And it's going to be a polar orbit about Minimus. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. We've done it before. We can do it again. We just have to land on the bright side. Now, I'm kind of cautious about doing time acceleration. I don't know how good of an intersection this is. Because when you do time acceleration, the physics actually move. It tries to accelerate it. And the math gets a little bit wonky. If you know anything about computer science, things start truncating for memory purposes. And well, when things truncate on the order of, what's this, couple 0.1 megameters, it gets tricky. Regardless, we're going to try and time it. Oh, it looks like I'm going to be alright. So accelerate. Accelerate out and watch. And there's the debris. At some point I'm going to have to figure out a way to get things into space and not leave debris. What I'll probably do is create a space station that I can launch probes up to and then launch the probes from the space station. That will require a lot of work and a lot of money on the part of Kerbin and its wonderful taxed inhabitants. But it will make my life easier, and it will probably be pretty fun to watch me build it and be failing horribly. So, here we go. Yeah, that's a really good intercept. It's polar, but it's pretty good. Right, let's run ourselves into the actual intersection of Minimus here. And then see how we're going to need to burn. There it is. Okay. Man, that is just near perfectly polar. It's horrifying. Okay, well, what are you going to do? Just got to kill it. I'm going to want to bring it down to 16K. And that's going to be right here. Okay. It's the one thing, the reason that I haven't started to build that space station yet, because it would be ideal, and using that space station, if we put it into a equatorial orbit is we could run a lot of goo canisters. We could run all sorts of things. The microscience lab, the junior one. I don't know if there's more science research things. There probably are, and that would be good research to do. But we could run them all around Kerbin, just very, very close to everything that we care about and love dearly, and try and just kind of squeeze out all the science from our planet we can before we have to try and go out to planets like Eve and its moon of Gilly to determine what we need to know about the universe. Okay, here we go. Estimates we're going to have a 22-second burn, so in about 10 seconds until my node, I'm going to start burning. Only a few seconds off. Here we go, and burn. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to get rid of the node now because we know where I'm flying, so that's not that big of an issue. And I want to be able to easily see what my periapse is going to be. As I slow down, slowing down. Don't burn so hard. Okay, periapse switching sides. And we kill it there. 9,000. That's tight, but it shouldn't be intersecting with anything on the planet. At periapse, we're going to bring it down to a nice circular orbit, and there it is. That's the direction that I'm going to want to burn. I'm going to need to try and land on a nice flat plateau that has plenty of sun. Oh, goodness. I hope the planet rotates around a little bit better than it currently is, because that is nothing in there is really conducive for. I suppose I could try and land on that icy spot down there. But I like landing higher. It's a little bit easier to get off the planet. Then again, look at the fuel. We've got tons of it. So I really could land anywhere. We might try that. Let's see if I can land in one of these low spots. When we get around to the point of actually making that happen, we'll see how things look. All right, so we got 59 minutes until the burn. This one I'll do largely live, because I would like to. I'm trying to do a whole bunch of precision burns right now, so you guys have not been able to actually watch a burn from the perspective of this ship, except for the initial launch burn, which I understand can be a little bit annoying, but know that I'm doing it so that we can do science as effectively as possible. Okay, man, look how close we're cutting it. We are just daring scientists. Slow, careful burn. Okay. How are we doing? I like that. I like that a lot. So now, I don't think we're going to be able to land on one of those icy spots. Well, not on this orbit. Let's just go ahead and take another orbit around the planet. And in the meantime, while we're here, we can do science. Things might be different. Ooh, the high radiation environment caused a few of the samples to glow. Looks like it would be fun to paint rockets with this. Interesting. Minimus is radioactive. Something you didn't know before, I'm sure. I should probably rotate my solar panels to the sun. That might be a little bit helpful as we transmit our data slowly. This is the problem with having only one pod and no batteries. I don't actually remember if I have batteries as parts. In the future, if I do, I'll be sure to attach them. But for now, I didn't because I'm dumb. Alright, we're going to observe the mystery goo. The goo feels right at home. It's the favorite place for the goo to be. What more could you want? Alright, that's done transmitting. We're going to EVA Jebediah. He's going to make a nice little report. We're going to... Oh, yes, we need to get inside first. Store data. Let's send both EVA reports in. Why not? Nothing threatening about them. Okay, now we've sent all those reports in. Very, very good science was done this day. As we're flying along here, which direction are we flying along? In this way? Where are we going? You know, I could probably point my ship into the prograde direction and then just follow the direction of my ship. Going that way. Interesting. Does it make sense? Alright, well, let's take a quick revolution about the planet. Man, I am just barely clearing some of these plateaus. This is a nice, tight orbit. It's going to be fun to land, because if I'm landing in one of the lower sections, this is actually about the height that I probably... Oh! Here we are, coming up on our own landing zone. The first time we landed at Minimus, the K.A.S.A 2. Oh, look at it sitting there in the darkness, just waiting to be done science upon or some other such nonsense. Alright. Alright. Speeding along. It looks like I'm clear. I don't need to worry about any hitting mountains or any such. I have a nice clear orbit window, so I can do this as many times as I need to. But I'm sure Jebediah would like to get down on the surface, plant his little feet everywhere. But he won't be able to. We're going to have to go through one more revolution. So I'm just going to really quick do that. Cannot warp faster than this. Okay, we will not warp faster than this then. If we go through one more revolution, I should be able to land somewhere in here, which would be a nice, beautiful landing spot. We could get some very nice, icy data. As we speed along. I'm flying about this Minimus. It's made of pudding. That's actually what the Kerbals believe, apparently. If what I've heard is that if you read the science reports and some of the other, I guess, Kerbal lore that you can find in the game, that the Kerbals actually believe that Minimus is made out of some sort of crazy pudding. Alright, so we're going to try and land about here. Seem good to you guys? Well, I don't know. There might be better. No, this is closer to the equator. This is where we want to land. So, am I sped up? No. Oh, my fingers aren't on the right keys. That would help. Alright, so this one we're going to have to do from the orbit view, because we're going to need to see where the thing puts us. Okay, we're going to have to do just a much harder burn after that set of mountains there. So first thing, let's get the landing gear down, because we're not going to want to forget that at the last possible second here. Look at all this fuel that I have at Minimus! Oh my gosh. I knew I was putting margins on the rocket, but I did not know that they were going to be that great. This is why we do science and we unlock those bigger boosters, you guys, because gosh darn it, Internet. Gosh darn it. You end up with an almost full capsule when you get to Minimus. We might even be able to just stop by the moon on the way back. Take some EVA reports. That would be a fun trip. If I can make it work, I will. Just for you, I will. Okay, that's the point that I'm worried about. Now I have a time, instead of just watching it. I've been watching it go in that incredibly fast time for a while now, so I just kind of forgot that, oh yeah, though, you know, you can make it rotate around the planet in like 10 seconds if you're accelerating at 100 times the speed. And the actual orbit time is more like 12, 14 minutes. Okay. Alright. Here's the part that I'm worried about. This ridge. If we can clear this, which I think we will, we're going to. Beautiful. Just on the other side, there it is, the icy field that we want to land on. Alright. Just as we're starting to pass over that, I'll kill my velocity. So we want to land right in there. Can you see my mouse? I think I might have turned seeing my mouse off, but okay, I'll, the ship is now directly looking at blocking the position of where I would like to land, ideally. We'll see what we can do with that. So 164 should be about 8 to 10 seconds of burn, which, oh goodness. It's so hard to guess at this. I don't have a ton of experience. We're going to do it live! We'll do it live, Internet! It'll be fine. What could go wrong? Answer nothing. Real answer everything. Okay. And let's start burning. Oh, everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. Wait a little more. I was slowing down a lot faster than I was expecting. Okay, and well, I'm gonna. This is wide enough. It's wide enough. Now we're gonna do it live. Where's the SAM going to land right now? Okay, we can get rid of this. It says I'm going to land basically where I want to. A little bit north of. So I'm just going to let it run for a minute here. Then I'm going to go ahead and start killing this velocity. Killing this lateral velocity. Okay, now I'm going to do it gently. I want to try and make this just hit exactly on that dot. So I'm falling straight down. Okay. At the very least, I'm falling almost straight down. Yeah, good enough. But it is where I wanted to land, right in the middle of this wonderful, low, icy field. And actually, as we look to the east, that's a pretty clear takeoff trajectory. I was worried there were going to be mountains in the way. I'm okay with this. Everything is, assuming I land this and don't just destroy the ship, everything is turning out better than expected. Oh, you know what? I'm going to rotate this so we can get a nice, good image of the ship in the sun. For when we take the picture of this landing, I'm thinking ahead. Here comes the ground scatter. I think that's ground scatter. Could be a graphical glitch. Oh! It's the shadow. Is there no ground scatter on the ice? That would make sense. My goodness, this is so much lower than I thought it was. Slowing down slowly. I'm just barely burning that that thruster. Alright. We'll let it fall for a little while. One, because I'm not going very fast. Two, because it's quite a ways away. Alright, there's the landing shadow. Okay, now I'd like to slow down. 8 meters per second. Here we go. I think this isn't acceptable. This is an acceptable landing speed for sure. Oh. Got 1-ish meters per second of lateral velocity, which should be okay. I have 4 landing struts this time. It should be fine. And touchdown. Beautiful. Look at that. Here we are on the icy fields of Minimus. And yes, they are icy, as we will soon discover, as Jebediah will soon discover. They're not made of pudding. Put down the ladder so Jeb can walk down. I put a little bit of thought into this time. The Kerbal engineers aren't just going to make Jeb jump around. They're going to actually let him walk. Let him walk and be happy. All right. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Have him go ahead and plant the flag. Please plant it the right way, because I think I know how this works. Oh, he plants it sideways to where I want it. Okay, this is the landing of the... Oh, I didn't even tell you all what the ship is called. It's called the Kutnik, because we're doing science. Science was done here this day. Jebediah is witness to Kerbin's glory. Yes. Beautiful. Oh, that's actually going to make a wonderful picture. So, go ahead and get your pictures now. You crazy internet people wanting to see beautiful things. Look how happy Jebediah is. He's so happy that you're here. You're here to take this beautiful picture with him. Ah, how wonderful. Okay. So Jebediah is going to do a quick EVA report. He feels a bit like a superhero. That's good to know. And he's going to also take a surface sample. Tiny crystallite grains, very pretty. Probably not edible. They're checking to make sure. Because you never know. You never know. All right. And we climb up the ladder. Go ahead and just take one experiment of everything. Just initially. I think that seems reasonable. So the materials bag. Ooh, wow, that's worth quite a bit. Minimus looks like a mini dessert and have discovered that you are now hungry. Jebediah, it's not pudding. It's some kind of radioactive ice. These are things you've discovered. The goo is observed. The goo is observed. We'll report each of the crew things. And yes, I know we don't have enough electric charge. I understand. That's why there are solar panels. So we'll just sit here for a while it all transmits. Then we'll take another set of data. And then we'll actually fly home and deposit that data safely on the surface. Goodness. Also, yes, I recognize that this is weird having a antenna on top of the place where one of the parachutes is going to come out of. I understand that you're probably thinking the same thing I thought when I put that on. Isn't that just going to break off? And you know what the answer is? Probably yes. Unless this game is... I mean, we are still in alpha, if I recall correctly, so it's possible that it could stay on just because alpha, but even if it weren't, let's say it was going to just blow off. I only need the antenna while we're in space and the parachute isn't deployed. So I felt that it was an acceptable design choice because the only time it's going to pop off is when we're back in orbit about Kerbin trying to come in for a landing, and there it doesn't matter as much. Oh man, still uploading that data. It's a lot of data, I'm not going to lie, and I don't have a lot of power. Solar panels are not the most efficient things, especially when they're not perfectly facing the sun. Are we done? No, we're not. Of course not. 60%! Oh, goodness. Goodness, goodness, goodness. I'm not going to have Jeb get out and do his exterior things, because the last time that I did that in a test flight of a design similar to this for this mission, the game actually glitched out, and Bill was flying it because Bill is our test pilot, and the SAS stopped working. Everything stopped working. I couldn't control the ship, and Bill was lost. Bill was lost to the universe. Luckily, that because it was a test flight, it was a pre-designated revertible flight, and simulation, if you will. The Kerbals did a simulation. They determined that their simulator was very buggy. Oh, goodness. So close. So very close. How many datas are we on? Requires 10 electric charge per transmission. Yes, once it's done uploading, we will go out, we will collect a new set of data, we will get back in the ship, we will start to fly off, and then we will get an EVA report, a crew and an EVA in orbit about Minimus. We'll get a crew and an EVA if we hit the MUN, about it, not on it. And we will get a crew and an EVA in just orbiting about Kerbin, very, very high Kerbin orbit. And then we'll just land, and we'll see how much science we can get with a Minimus core sample and Minimus goo discoveries. All sorts of things will be had. If I accelerate... Oh, you can accelerate! And then it'll still transmit. Beautiful. Alright, the Communitron is done. So now, Jebediah. Oh, let's just go ahead and let go. Alright. You, sir, take a surface sample. We're just going to keep that this time. We're going to do an EVA report. And gather that. I'm going to have you grab this ladder, walk right on back in, because you've done everything you need to do outside of the ship. Observe the goo. Actually, let's not observe the other goo. Let's wait until we're somewhere else, get different data. Observe the mystery jar, we'll keep that. We'll file a crew report, we'll keep it. And then we will retract the ladders, because we are about to take off. Jebediah! Off we go. Retract the landing gear as we start to turn east. Oh my gosh, I just love this launch vector. It's so wonderful, so easy. Okay, it doesn't take that much to leave Minimus, so I don't want to push that hard. Oh, no! Okay, we're going to get up here, we're going to get in orbit, we're going to take some more readings. Okay, it's going to be in 8 minutes, so just time accelerate to that. Time accelerate to that. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2... Oh, there's the moon out in front of us. I don't know if we'll be able to make it. It's just so far out there. We might not be able to. Okay. We're in orbit. Let's go ahead and EVA. Make an EVA report, my good man. We'll go ahead and keep that data. Go back inside. We will make a crew report. We won't overwrite the existing crew report. We will do, however, where is Earth? There's Earth. Where are we? We are right where we want to be, aren't we? No. No, we could be a little bit further. So there, we will burn. That should drop us down closer to Earth. We're going to be efficient. which is ironic considering how much extra fuel we have, but we're going to be efficient anyway, because that's the kind of people that we are. Alright, 4 minutes. 3, 2, 1 minute. No minutes. And we burn. And we leave it. We're dropping down. Now, let's see what we can do about hitting the moon. Is there any chance? Any chance at all? Let's get out here into the greater solar system. And see what happens to our possible interception. Oh my gosh, this just takes forever. There we go. How we doing? Not very well. Oof. Let's push it a little bit more, maybe? No, it looks like we're just going to miss the mun entirely. Well, no mun for us. What you gonna do? Yeah, no, we're gonna miss it pretty hard. Well, we could try. Let's do this. How much fuel do we still have? Oh, plenty. So much fuel. Okay. We're gonna burn. We can probably get a mun encounter. Okay, we're gonna go there. We're gonna... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's perfect. Alright, it's only 2 days away. This is the way that you return. Accelerating all the way out here. Probably want to switch focus to... There we go. Focus is where I want it. Looks like that by slowing it down, we'll be able to get that intersection after all. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Slow down. Where's the mun? The mun's over there, so it's going to come and meet us, basically. That's what will happen. So we're only going to slow down by that much, and on this next pass, we'll intersect. Alright. I think I'm okay with this. Okay, want to get nice and close because this is such just a tight burn. I don't want to miss it. Normally, I'm okay with, oh, it's this big, we'll burn 10 minutes early, it's a 7-day period, no big deal, but man, this is such a minor maneuver. Let's kill the node. Oh, got it. We got it. Whew. Alright. Let's accelerate this puppy. And look at how much energy this intersection is going to rob us of. That's quite a bit of delta V that we're just getting for free from this intersection. Well, quote, quote, free. Let's see how free it actually is. Come on. It's right through the planet, actually. So we're going to need to fix that. You're going to need to fix that something fierce. I'm going to start burning this way and see what happens. That's what we want. All right. Nice and free of the planet. 80,000 meters. All right. So yeah, we can measure the goo in lunar orbit, and we can take a crude report. Still at 83. We're still at 83. Let us do so, shall we? Look at that wonderful moon. We'll come back and visit you soon, I promise. Let's observe that mystery goo. What do we get? Oh! It seems to be less dense. How interesting. 30 scientific value. Very much worth it. Alright, well, let's go ahead and just fly right on past. Unfortunately, we did not lose as much as I would have liked. Bright side, though, we did get bonus data. We learned about several planets in our Kerbal system here. Oh, that's the direction I need to burn. That's all that I really need to know. Because I have margins. Yes, I do. Oh gosh, that was close. Alright. This should be good enough. I'll just burn retrograde. We can kill this, and I'll just watch, see what happens. Alright, alright. Look at all that fuel. All that fuel I'm burning because I'm being so reckless and wasteful. And it doesn't matter at all. Not in the slightest. Alright. And I'm going to slow down now. We want to drop down below 30, remember, so that the parachutes will really take effect. Alright, so here we go. I've got tons of fuel left, and we're going to go ahead and hit Kerbin atmosphere really soon. There we are, our home planet. After how many days? Goodness, 2 weeks! 2 weeks Jebediah has been out in space learning things for Kerbin, so that we might be able to teach future generations about better rockets, better all sorts of things. Okay, well, and now we get to finally see if that, oh goodness, that was terrifying. That antenna is going to be an issue. I don't want to land on the dark side of Kerbin. That just wouldn't, that'd be no fun. But I suppose we will see as we hit the atmosphere pretty soon. I redirect myself into retrograde. 3 kilometers per second, 3.1 kilometers per second. This is going to be a very hot re-entry. I look forward to it. I don't have the parachutes on yet. That's because I'd like to slow down a little bit. I'm a little bit worried with the added weight of the devices here that the parachutes are actually going to just rip the entire structure apart, and I don't want that to happen. So I mean, if we lose this bottom part, it's not as big of a deal. We can, with 3 parachutes, we'll probably land pretty light, but it's definitely not something that I want to risk early on. I think this will actually add a bigger profile, get a little bit more work out of the atmosphere here. We're probably going to land in the ocean. Oh, here we go. Here's that shock heating. Okay, where are we coming in on? No! We might very well land on land. I would be perfectly okay with that. Right here, past this obvious crater. We'll see, shall we? Let's see how far this this can actually get us. Oh my gosh. Worst comes to worst, I can use the rocket to just kind of scoop myself over there. I don't think I'm actually going to put landing gear. I don't think I need it. I am so glad, so very glad that shock heating re-entry issues are not an actual issue in Kerbal Space Program right now, because this would have died so hard. Lovely. My roommate's yelling at a game very loudly in the other room. Ah, no, we're going to land in the water. I don't have the kind of fuel it will take to put us somewhere else. So, that's okay. Now that we're getting nice and low, I'll help slow us down with the remaining fuel that I have, as well as applying parachutes. Alrighty. Use the rest of it to make sure the landing is soft enough that we can actually recover the pod. And ideally, with this, we should only lose in the water maybe these bottom parts, which I'm not. So long as all of the science is intact, we can recover it and get all of that wonderful, glorious science that we need to go out to Eve. It's the first extra Kerbal planet that I would like to visit with all of you wonderful internet people. Okay, we're going to time accelerate here just up until about 1,001 kilometer, because that's about when the parachutes really kick in. Somewhere in here, and we're still falling pretty fast. Oh, goodness. I'm trying to start stealing some of this away. I'm worried that we're going to lose part of the ship when they expand. I'm really worried. Oh, nope, we're good. Everything's fine. Okay, well, let's time accelerate then. That's actually very good. Man, I am surprised how well those 3 parachutes are doing. I'm not convinced that if I hadn't burned there, they wouldn't have just ripped everything apart, but okay. Coming up on the water. Hoping for a safe line. I'm going to keep the SAS off. If it wants to turn on its side, I'll let it turn on its side, as long as it doesn't destroy itself. Oh! Oh! Ah, it's going to fall on its side. Such is the way. But regardless, here we are, landed back on Kerbin. Our mighty science mission done. Let's recover and see what happens. How much science did we get? How many new things can we buy? 148 science! Oh my goodness. Okay, good job, Jebediah. Good job. What can we learn right now? What's this? What's this blank thing? External... Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that in the slightest. Okay. And then, so that's for rovers. I'm not too excited. Battery. Do I have a battery, by the way? I do. I have this kind of a battery, yes. Okay, tiny maneuvers. Not too interested. What's this? Not too interested. Not too interested at the moment. That would be nice. Some early stages. I'd really like to get a docking. We don't seem to have that option, so... I know I want this. I know I want this. What's that lead to? Something that apparently requires something else. What's this? The Rockomax. Okay, it's a tiny little... Okay, that'll give me some RCS capabilities, which would be nice. I think I'm actually going to do it. I knew it. What's this give me? Oh, it's the skipper. It's not the mainsail, but we're getting there. We're getting towards the mainsail in this direction. And oh my goodness, that fuel tank. Oh, it'd help us so much. Make it so easy. But it's not what we want. That's not what we want. We want this. We want the ability for better separation. And I want structural fuselage. So many things I don't want in here. But I know what it's going to lead to. How much do I have left? 200. I'll go for it. I'll go for it. This is docking. This is docking! Oh, with this, we can start building... storage. Beautiful. Everything about this is just a gigantic yes. Okay, we're going to go with that. Well, I don't know. 160... Yeah, we're going to go with this. It will allow us to build a space station. What's this? Better space station parts. Okay. Can I unlock it? No, okay. Alright, well, I guess that means we need to build an equatorial space station. And did I get... I did get RCS. Good. Okay, we can actually do that then. So I guess that's going to be the next step on the path. Whoa, I didn't even know you could turn this. Learning new things every day. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time at K.A.S.A.